Okay, part 2 of my discussion video response thing. I'm rambling so much, I'm not making any sense. There is no connection between the brain and the mouth tonight. Just word vomit, so I do apologise. But I'm actually going to try and get onto the subject of whether or not I feel that the Wall Street Journal was justified in its article about YA fiction being too dark and graphic and violent and intense and whatnot. And of course I feel that it wasn't justified in the least, and this is because life can suck and times can be shitty and hard and violent and difficult and intense and all such things. In particular, when you're a teenager, everything is heightened. Everything is that much more amped up and that much more intense and in your face. All the emotions, all the experiences, the thoughts, the feelings, the physical changes, what you're discovering about yourself and other people, everything is that much more intense. So surely the dark stuff, you could safely argue, is potentially that much worse when you're a teen. And you are in need, therefore, I would hope, of more acknowledgement and acceptance and understanding from any outlet you can find, to know that you can have help, you can have understanding, you can have these support networks available to you. And if you happen to be a reader, then surely you would want that also to be reflected in what you can read, the options that are available to you to read. And art in general surely is not just an expression of thoughts and feelings and hopes and beliefs and social commentary, personal commentary, whatever, but it is also ultimately a reflection of experience. And that is both good and bad. Everything needs light and dark, you need balance. So for as many escapist reads as you can find, and they are essential and necessary to a reading experience, I'm not denying that for a second, you also need to have available to you the darker stuff. The stuff that deals with the ugly, graphic, intense, unhappy side of life that people may or may not have experienced. And it doesn't mean that you have to go and read these books, just like you don't have to see the films, you don't have to listen to the music, you don't have to look at the artwork. But it's there. It's available to you if and when you need it. And that's the most important thing, surely. To deny the existence of this kind of material that deals with this sort of content is surely to be alienating and isolating these experiences and feelings within these people. And especially as a teenager, that would be that much more harrowing, to be feeling that you are alone, you're shunned, you're not acknowledged, you're not accepted, you're not identified, you're not being offered any assistance in any way and any validation of what you're going through. And it's not that it's justifying or glorifying these experiences, but it is saying, hey, this shit happens, we know this shit happens, and let's not just put these things under a rug and deny them. Because it's real for these people, gosh darn it. If you happen to be fortunate enough to go through your life and not have these sort of ordeals occur to you or occur to your loved ones, that's fantastic, that's great. You are blessed, you are lucky, you are fortunate, and that's lovely. These aren't your experiences, you know, you may not feel that you need to see them reflected in reading. But that doesn't make an excuse for ignorance as a wider reading community. And at the end of the day, still, it has to come down to choice. For example, I know that I don't necessarily want to read books that contain very particular content. I know that I'll probably never read, is it Living Dead Girl? Is that what it's called? And there's another novel that's kind of following a similar vein to that one. There's certain books I know I'll probably never read in my lifetime. But I'm very, very glad that they exist, because other people can read them, and it's important and necessary that they are there for people to turn to and to seek out if they need to. And so long as this content is being dealt with in a mature and intelligent and insightful fashion, then who are we to argue against it? I know that I love the moments when I can feel a really intense and palpable connection to material that I read. I purposely sought out darker stuff because it can relate to my own experiences. For example, I have sought out books that concern suicide, concern depression. I am trying to find material that deals with chronic pain and illness, but that's a bit more tricky to find. Because those moments when you can feel that connection and sort of acknowledgement of, like, it's like a string has attached between you and the book or whatever, or you and the character. It's so intense and overwhelming, and surely it is the solidification of why reading can be so amazing and important and necessary for people. And if you're going to deny all these personality types that make up the human race, if you're going to deny everybody this potential connection, then what's the frackin' point of reading? What's the point of writing? What's the point? Jeez. So, I don't get it. I don't get it. Surely to put restrictions on things is to also put restrictions on people's experiences and their own development as people, and their own awareness of themselves and what they need in life, and what they know, what they feel, what they've gone through. I don't know. It's such a personal thing, and it has to come down also to choice, and to know that just because this content is out there doesn't mean you have to read it, you know, but don't deny its existence and don't say that it can't have its place, because in my mind everything in literature has to exist for a reason. There's so much that happens in life that we may each never know. Everyone individually has really distinct experiences. You're never going to be able to encapture them all on film or on a piece of paper. But for that matter, surely everything has to keep evolving and growing, because, you know, we're never going to get to the point where we have effectively portrayed the human existence in an art form. Any art form. But for that reason, surely it has to always be expanding and always be progressing, moving forward, opening up, becoming wider, becoming broader, to contain anything and everything it can, so that we as human beings are being effectively and truthfully represented in the art forms we create. Just saying.